Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bankerstan in FEMA Region 9 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Here's your host, Matt Maldonado, on Madness4life News. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Maldonado here in FEMA Region 9 in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is Madness4life News, podcast number 7, the Tuesday edition. On June 19th, 2012, I'm going to be getting into all over America. Government control freaks are forcing preppers back onto the grid because, hey, if you're going to be using money to put in your saves and put it underneath your bed, you can't do that anymore. You're going to put that in a bank so that we can steal it and take away your pension funds. And you know what? You're not going to be living off the land. Well, wait a minute. I've been here for 20 years. Doesn't matter. You're going to leave. Okay, but there's no law. Well, we're going to make up a law. This is not with our building code. All right. You're disturbing your neighbors. Well, there's not really neighbors around here. You're right. You're disturbing the snakes, the wilderness here. So get off, scum. Women arrested for groping TSA supervisor. The boy who cried wolf scenario. Is predictive programming being used to weaken the truth movement? Number 4, World War II war hero has land and home stolen. And Syria, Iran, Russia, and China reported planned war game. So that is coming up today on Madness4life News Podcast. Let's get into this one first. All over America, government control freaks are forcing preppers back onto the grid because now it's going to be Agenda 21. They've been trying to push this through for like 4 years or more, trying to kick them off the land. And now they're going to say, you know what? Now it's don't trespass, and now this is private property. Actually, it's public property because people go, it doesn't matter. It's private property now because animals live here and you don't. Okay. So they have these people that go into LA County and literally steal people's lands that they already paid for, and really they don't have the right to be there. But yet they go, you know what? You're not a part of the building code. You're going to leave. You're disturbing the neighbors. We had confirming that the neighbors said that you were they didn't like your house. Well, my neighbor is literally like a mile away, 2 miles away. It doesn't matter. We're gonna take your house. Okay, we want your house. You see that dirt? We want it to be like that. What? Where's the law? There is none, but we're gonna take it. That is right. Where is the law? There is no law. Where's the law where they can take your house because, hey, the government said so? Well, probably because of the fact that it's the National Defense Research Preparedness, where they can take any land, any resource, anytime. So that's probably also an indication. And sustainable development, where they can take your home or belongings anywhere. Let's get into this article right here from the American Dream by Michael Schneider. Infowars.com has picked that up, saying in recent years there have been huge numbers of Americans that have sought to go off the grid and live a more independent lifestyle. It has been estimated that there are now approximately 3 million preppers in the United States, and many of them just want to be left alone so that they can take care of themselves and their families on their own land. But that is not the way America works anymore. Nope, because now America is literally like China, Russia, or Germany, where they're going to just take your land and say, you know what, now the government owns it. Where's the law? There is none. We're just going to neglect the law. We don't have a country anymore because the bankers own this, and we're going to give it to landowners. We're going to build buildings here, even though they're actually disrupting the environment. But hey, that's okay. You know, I saw this video. I'm sorry, I'm going to get into this. I saw this video of Reason TV on the website Infowars, and they were talking to the city council And they said, well, we have a right not to answer your question. What? They were saying, like, well, where's the law? They're like, well, we have the right to not answer your question. Oh, okay. Yeah, you have that right, but doesn't that mean that you're hiding something? What are you hiding? Why are you not answering the questions that they asked them? Like, oh, why are you taking these lands? They already pay the bill. They already pay their taxes. They're law-abiding citizens. Well, where's the law? Well, we're not going to say. And it's, this is tyranny, so deal with it. And then it's just like, well, you know what? I'm not going to get into that. In many areas of the country, government control freaks have essentially declared war on preppers and are attempting to force them back onto the grid. In some states, nonsensical narcotics abidement teams are conducted armed raids on off the grid properties. Property owners are being they're giving them code violations. It says right here getting code violations and are being told that they are bothering the neighbors. When in fact, if you actually listen to the videos, it talked about him like, well, I have a neighbor like 2 miles away. Doesn't matter. You're disrupting the your neighbors. Well, my neighbors are bobcats and snakes and all these other things. See, you're disrupting them. Actually, no. I live on a small land. I live in a trailer park, and I have this workshop here, and you're going to make me tear it down? Yes. Now get off, scum. And we're supposed to love it. Yeah. And to the cops right now and to the military, you know what? To a warning, you can try to kick people off as much as you can, but you know what? The more you kick people off, the more they're going to keep waking up and keep buying guns, and you're going to be part of a civil war that will not stop, and it's going to be because of the offshore engineers. Just so you know. And I hate these people that just say, well, they're all puppets. They're all puppets. All the leaders that we have are puppets. Well, you know that we can use a grassroots and we can actually vote these people out, right? But hey, we want anarchy. We want to fight each other. We want things burning down and burn the whole thing to the ground. You know what? If you want that, then I want out of this culture, okay? You've been warned. I'm so sick of the culture. I am so sick of it. I am sick of the gangsterism. I'm sick of these people just being fake, like every single day. I went to like a film festival, and just everybody around me was just fake. What's this have to do with the preppers? It's because once they kick them out, they're going to kick everybody else out. They're going to arrest you for even having a garden in your own home. They did that in Michigan. They did that in other places. They're doing that now, which I've heard from Alex Jones that it's from what's that state? Crap. He just said it too. It wasn't Iowa. Was it Missouri? I think it was Missouri. Excuse me. But anyhow, continuing here, in some cases, trees and gardens are being forcibly removed. In other cases, entire structures are being relocated or torn down. And in the most extreme cases, property owners are actually being forced off of their properties completely by these control freaks. You see, the truth is that in America, you don't really own your property. You are essentially renting it, and you can only do it what the government allows you to do. That's true, because that's what they say. Even though that's actually not true, because there's no law to it. But hey, who needs laws? Who needs to govern people? And you can call me a statist all you want. you need to make sure that the government is actually doing its job. And when you literally vote for people that want to bring in socialism, communism, Agenda 21 garbage, this is what you get. This is what you want. This is what you get. This is what you want. This is what you get. Okay? I'm so sick of this fakeness. I just had it. You know, you people could stand up against this. Even the people that are blind, you can stand up against this. You guys can have jobs. You guys can have freedom again. You guys can have a country again. But guess what? It's too much work. Yeah, it's too much work. Ugh. Yeah, it's too much work. Yeah, it's going to be too much work when you don't have a job anymore. And you're going to be living out in the street. Oh, yeah, because that's the next step. You want this for your children? Do you want this for your children? Some of the liberals probably want. Because all they want is like, let's bring on the immigrants, help the immigration laws, have illegals in there. Yes, what does this have to pertain to the what I'm talking about? Well, like I said, it's going to continue until you stand up against this. Not violently, but non-violently. That's what I'm advocating for. Non-violence. Not for the zeitgeist movement, this garbage movement saying that we're going to be acclimated into computers, putting it into the matrix and have the robots do everything for us, get rid of religion and stuff like that, and loving the devil. No. It's about getting off your bootstraps and actually standing up for your rights. Lawfully. So then when they try to arrest you, they say, hey, where's the law? And they say, well, such and such. Well, that's interesting because I got the law right here and it doesn't say so. Well, you can go now. Anyway, you are essentially renting it, and the government does not like people discounting from the grid and living an independent lifestyle because, hey, they want you to be not self-sufficient. They want you to be efficient for the government. I'd rather be self-sufficient and be independent. But, hey, how dare I want to be living on a ranch or living on a farm and actually living? Because living in a city, first of all, is not living. I'm sorry, but it's not. It's not. It's just horrible. Acclimating us into a city where nobody talks to each other. There's no culture. There's nothing. All they do is dance around like a bunch of freaking morons. First of all, when you have a small town, that's more of a culture. That's more of a better society. When you have small towns, when you have really large areas where people can live, that's a better lifestyle than this garbage, hey, we have to go into a city. Really? So these battles are continuing here. So these battles over property rights are probably going to get even more intense in the years ahead. I have to finish up here. These days, many Americans are choosing to grow survival gardens as a way to help feed their families and become more independent of the system. Hey, you can't do that because we have GMOs and you have to eat them. Where's the law? We made that one up. So you better eat up, scum, because we want you to eat up and just love it. Love it like the trendies love it. Kill me. Trendy. I love Al Gore. It's because of me, because I'm breathing, so hold your breath. How long can I hold my breath? That's why we have to go after the small farmer. We have to go after the small rancher. For what reason? There is none. But this is a Stalinistic, communistic, socialistic, fascistic, Marxistic way to destabilize the country. And I don't know why people go toward authoritarian system thinking that the government's going to help you when it's going to take the grassroots. Other people are going to help you. But hey, let's continue here. But in some areas of the country, these survival gardens are being forcibly ripped out by government control freaks. Just check out what happened to one unemployed woman in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oh, that's the place, Tulsa, Oklahoma. where the woman tried to grow a garden, and they kicked her out and charged her and put her to jail. A Tulsa woman is suing the city's code enforcement officers after she said they cut down her garden with no cause. Dennis Morrison said she has more than 100 plants varieties in her front and backyards, and all of them are enabled and have a purpose. She knows which ones will treat was it our arthritis, which will make your food spicy, which ones keep mosquitoes away and treat bug bites. But she said none of that matter to city inspectors. Last August, Morrison's front and backyards were filled with flowers in bloom. Lemon, I can't even say it. Stevia, garlic, grapes, strawberries, apple mints, spearmints, peppermint, and apple trees. Oh, that is great. Well, walnut trees, pecan trees, and much more. What? And they just tore it down. Like, that's a building code. You need to actually have a permit for this stuff. Where's the law? There is none. You see, this is the government, and we have to give you all the stuff that we give you, even though it's poisonous and it'll kill you, and it'll actually kill you later, even though we have a lot of people just saying, yeah, well, just kill me real good, even though people actually want to actually eat fresh foods. But hey. All right, going to be moving on here. It just continues on from there. And it's just, what are we going to keep? How much are we going to continue the government to just rape us of not only our freedoms, but also our property, our rights, everything? How much will we put up with? Probably everything. Why not? Woman arrested for groping TSA supervisor. This has happened in Ohio, or in Florida, where the TSA agent was groped. This is from Infowars.com. Paul Joseph Watson dispute the fact that thousands of TSA agents across the country engage in similar behavior on a daily basis. A woman has arrested after she turned the tables on the federal agency and groped a TSA supervisor in protest in her at her treatment, in protest at her treatment. Okay, you can actually look at the video on Infowars.com where she was showing the screener that she was groped for no reason, and there was no reason to be groped. It was actually against protocol, as they call it. But hey, she got arrested, and she was put to jail, and because it was misdemeanor, and because how dare you want to stand up for your rights? How dare you want to opt out of the TSA? How dare you? You were a former TSA agent. You're supposed to love it. Just stand there and shut up. And I hear people saying, too, that sometimes the TSA gives you safety. Really? It gives you safety? They grope children. They tear off colostomy bags. They rape people. They have prostitution rings. They steal things. They're a joke. It doesn't keep you safe. The TSA doesn't give you safe. It is basically to acclimate you to feel like a prisoner. If you think that, then I have a bridge I'm going to sell you. Continuing here, Carlo Price, herself a former TSA screener, was traveling to her brother's funeral in Cleveland, Ohio, by way of Southwest Florida International Airport. After Price became frustrated at receiving a pat-down, which included touching her breast and genitals, a violation of the protocol she herself had been trained to carry out. The Lee County woman voiced her complaint to a TSA supervisor by physical demonstrating how she was groped. The video shows Price briefly running her hands up and down the inside thong and crotch of the TSA supervisor. Price believed she was being targeted for harsh treatment by her former co-worker for personal reasons. They don't have a right. They don't have really a law. But hey, I got a badge. It's my administrative right to do it. Well, where's the law? There is none. Because the TSA inspector said so. This makes me sick. She was removed from her flight, missed her brother's funeral, handcuffed, and taken to jail because how dare she stand up for her rights? How dare she? For demonstrating the kind of humiliation that the TSA agents have become renowned for practicing, Price faced misdemeanor battery charges. She has pled not guilty. What about the charges for the TSA? How about the countless TSA screeners being arrested for violating people, raping women, raping children, tearing off colostomy bags, doing all these things that are illegal? Former TSA supervisors going into prostitution, doing all these other things, having a father, Catholic priest, former child molester, being a TSA screener. Because, hey, you know, the preferences of work doesn't matter. It doesn't apply to the TSA. But, hey, I'm just ranting. I'm just babbling here. You can go to Infowars.com to check out that article. I'm going to be moving on to the next point here because this is a big article. Very long one. I'm going to try to read as much as I can. Teleprompter free news here, folks. This is The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Is productive programming being used to weaken the truth movement, from Infowars.com. And I'm sorry I can't really say that name of the person who wrote it. I apologize for that. But it's up there on Infowars.com. You can check that out. I'm going to read it for you here today, right now. As the Olympics approaches, of implementing doom and massive terror attacks will dominate a large part of the alternative media. Already the internet is ablaze with countless videos pointing to a vast illuminated plot climaxing into a disaster false flag attack this summer. If you believe in Illuminati driven predictive programming prefacing the Olympic Games of 2012, the following video created by a Chinese broadcaster will be an aborted dish to fill the stomach. Hey! And it's right from the right on Infowars.com. It's called Olympics 2012 False Flag, the Destruction of London's soccer games. I think that was the name of it. It doesn't really say the whole thing. What does it say? Destruction of London Illuminati. It's on YouTube. Continuing here, whatever is disclosed to the public, Alan Watts said, is actually obvious, obsessed in a sense, knowing that people are animals of habit. The elite routinely waves concepts into dramatic expressions such as film, radio, and now the virtual reality online. In the case of the many announcements of implementing doom prefacing the Olympic propping up all over the internet, I believe we are dealing with a very strain of programming, largely distributing with the aim of preparing people not for any apocalyptic event unfolding, but rather to raise expressions to such an unprecedented level that many well-meaning truth seekers will eventually hit themselves on the head and subsequently disengage themselves from the arena when the dreaded games have come and gone. Excuse me. With the stars unstruck and the sky unchanged, the rest assured they will be afraid the summer. Be after the summer, another objective will have been accomplished. The unclimax will do more damage to the truth than any apocalyptic event. Horrible. A recent example of such reversed productive programming is Operation Blackjack, and it gets into that on this article. It talks about the fact that they would do these messages saying that there's going to be a false flag attack, and then they would do something that would be false flag and then take away the person's rights, and then something else would occur. So like they do this stuff, do these things of like doing false flag attacks and do like a fake one and then go, oh, and what's this over here? Don't look at that one. Let's look at this one. Okay, now let's take away your rights. And it gets into that. Let me get into that right now. Operation Blackjack. I got about how many more minutes? I got a couple more minutes, so I'm gonna try to get into this as much as I can. In January of 2009, the London Telegraph began featuring several graphics under the name Operation Blackjack. The images themselves are artistically inferior, despite major terrorist attacks, both the Europe and the continental United States. Both the artsy or lack of it is less interesting than the intent. In the vulgar display, we witness a plethora of horrific events. Oh, plethora. There we go. Plethora. I said it right. Yay. Of horrific events across the globe, igniting not only utter chaos and division, but also a union of North America, NUA, created to combat the Anglo-American, created to combat the climatists and the consolidate an Anglo-American government with extraordinary authority over its people. One aspect of the gallery that is especially alternate is the obsession of illuminated symbols with which the picture have been spray painted. Several references to a new dawn, a policeman wearing a Nazi-style eagle on his head, compiled by the new flag under which the Union of America operates. The eye, the sun, and snake bites its own tail. As to the identity of the artist responsible for the Macabre series, journalists at the UK Telegraph remained strangely silent, considering MI5 and MI6 are known for planting messages to the bloodstream of mass media. We have specificated that blackjack was devised to pursue some kind of objective. For those unfamiliar with Operation Blackjack, here's a short summary of the playbook. Beginning on June 21st, 2009, a van with the ominous New Dawn presentation painted on the side pulls up in front of a building. At the same time, London police are put on high alert as they move to raid the homes of several terrorist suspects. On the early morning of the following day, it begins pandemonium. Nakeds go off, nukes go off in every major city in the northern hemisphere, and a grim sequence of attacks consumes whatever. All major cities fall victim to exploding mini nukes, leaving once familiar and thriving communities in alter ruin. One graphic shows two men bent over their desk, gasping at the sight of the events unfold and proclaiming their readiness to move into phase 2. In the following weeks, a martial law is being implemented in both Britain and the United States, resulting in all-out tyranny. Finally, in the 5th episode of the curious miniseries, the true perpetrators, I can't even say that word. I knew that word, what it was. Behind the attacks are perpetrators. There we go. Perpetrators behind the attacks are exposed at the UNA people themselves, false flagging their way towards their endgame global government. And it continues from there. And yeah, of course, they put these things out, all these images about, oh, there's going to be nukes going off, there's going to be all these things going to happen, and something else happens. And then they take away people's rights in the long run. And then they implement global government, and they implement all these other things. So I'm going to be moving on to the next one. World War II war hero has land and home stolen, where he was basically tricked and had to go into bankruptcy, and they literally took away all of his home, his land, and by the way, he had to dig up. They said that he has to dig up his wife, and they have to make sure it's his wife, and then they have to both move. This is so much lawlessness. It's just ridiculous. This is from Oath Keepers from Infowars.com. And it talks about all that, him going into World War II, having 2 Bronze Stars, and literally jumping into rescuing prisoners of war in prison camps in the Philippines in 1945. And he's a true hero, not these people that are going to be killing people with drones and killing them with, beating people up. Those are not heroes, okay? Heroes are ones that are going to go into present danger to save actual lives, not those that are going to go, hey, we're going to kill about 1 million people just to kill one terrorist. It's just lunacy. It goes into the video here on YouTube. Let's get into this right now. Warren C. Bucker, as an 89-year-old World War II Army Airborne combat veteran and war hero living in Montana, who is being thrown off of his land and thrown out of his own house by Montana federal bankruptcy trustee Christy Brandon, with the approval of the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Montana. And who owns Montana? Well, the person who owns Montana is, you guessed it, globalist own Ted Turner. He basically owns and runs Montana, basically, because he's the biggest landowner in Montana. And you can't get a bigger land than him. And he says, hey, you only supposed to have 1 acre of land? I'm going to put that in place soon. Ha 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 ha. Now let's get into this. Continuing here, and to make matters worse, Warren's wife, Lorna, just died of cancer this past year and is buried there on their land right next to the house. Warren had planned to live there until he died and then be buried next to her. They're on their property at 11 Freedom Lane. It's not Freedom anymore. It should say 11 Tyranny Lane in the town of Plains, Montana. But now not only is he being forced off his land, but is being forced to exhume his wife. Basically, he has to dig up his wife and bring her along with him. Really sickening. His wife's body and taking her with him. This is the most disgusting, brutal, and unjust treatment of a World War II veteran by the justice system we have ever heard of. Here's a man who stepped up and went to war at the age of 19 to fight against the Japanese in the Pacific. When we say he is a war hero, we are serious. We're not exaggerating. He is a war hero. You can actually look this stuff up, and it's on InfoWars. He is a real war hero. Serving in the COB 511th Infantry Regiment, 11th Airborne Division. Seen discharge papers below. Warren earned 2 Bronze Stars while making 3 combat jumps in the Philippine Islands in 1945. One of those combat jumps was the daring rescue of prisoners of war at the Los Bonos internment camp of the island of Luzon, Philippines, February 23rd, 1945, where Warren and his brother, paratroopers of COB 511th Infantry Regiment, in at dawn's early light, 40 kilometers behind enemy lines, and rescued over 2,000 prisoners of war, men, women, and children, from their brutal Imperial Japanese guards before those guards could slaughter them, which they were going to after that, as they had planned. Not one, because nowadays it'd be like, oh, women, children dying. Well, why don't you just leave them there? See, before we actually had honor and justice, but for some reason now we don't. We have just cops being all thuggerish and just loving every bit of it, beating on people, killing people. It is just ridiculous. Not one prisoner was killed in the raid, though many of the Japanese guards were. Private Warren Barker was there. He was one of those brave young paratroopers who the grateful prisoners truly considered heaven sent from above. As one of the prisoners, a missionary, described it in his diary. At 7 a.m. sharp, we heard and saw 9 large transport planes flying low and passing close to the camp, perhaps 1 mile to the east. Even as we all watched, we saw doors open and paratroopers come trumping out. Oh, what a sight. With a typical tropical sunrise for a background, we saw about 150 paratroopers open one after another, parachutes open one after the other, and settle slowly earthward. out of our sight behind the distant trees. We knew help had come from the book Deliverance. It has come by John B. Bird. So yeah, you guys can read that on InfoWars and watch the video. It just makes me so sick. These people are just going to take away everybody's rights and take away your lands and take away all this stuff just to acclimate you into the Agenda 21. And literally, like the Hunger Games, we're going to make children fight for food. That's what's going to happen here. They're going to take away your lands and just gate us all off in cities. And that's it's starting. They couldn't do it before, but now they're doing it now. Last but not least, Syria, Iran, Russia, and China reported planned war game. I think they've been talking about this for a while. Here it is. From Kurt Nemo from Infowars.com, media outlets in Iran are reporting that Iran plans to partake in a war game with Russia, China, and Syria in the near future, and preparation will be carried out in the next few days. Syria's Arabic language Shame Life website added that the preparation are progressing at in an alternate pace and will likely occur within a month. Shame Life reported that 90,000 troops from the four countries will partake in the exercise, along with 400 aircraft, 1,000 tanks, and a large number of rockets. Syria will test its air and coastal defenses during the exercise. Iran's Far's new agency also quoted informed sources as stating the exercise will include ground troops and joint air and naval forces. It said Russian nuclear submarines are prepared to sail to Syria and partake. Shame Life said that China had gained permission to more 12 ships loaded with military equipment through the Shia Canal. Suez Canal. There we go. The ships will reach the Syrian ports of Tarzan, Tartus, and Latakia within 2 weeks, the website said. Far said no official word has come from the governments allegedly involved in the war game. Over the weekend, Infowars.com reported that the Russian General Staff has announced it will send warships from the Black Sea Fleet to the Syrian coast to protect the Syrian logic base in Tartus. On Tuesday, the Russian news source RIA said a Russian landing ship, the Caesar Konikov, deported the Black Sea port of the Sevastopol on Tuesday for what a Black Sea Fleet officer explained was a routine exercise. There we go. On Monday, the Black Fleet Command dismissed reports that the Russians would send arms to Syria aboard a large ship. Wow, they're going to be gearing up for the next war that America so wants. So they're trying to defend Syria, defend Pakistan, defend Iran, defend all of their allies as much as possible, and also defend their own interests as well. It is just so sickening. Well, I'm going to end this podcast right now and say that united we stand, divided we fall, and you can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, and Planet Infowars. Please stay true and be free, and God bless America. Thank you very much.